Mr. T.J. Jones. Two things to you, sir. Happy anniversary. Congratulations on that. And my condolences on your loss. Very happy time to a very sad time. And kind of pretty stark in its difference. Close the old blind here so we can see properly. There we go. There we go. Okay. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, if you will. All right, let me turn that light on back there. Maybe that'll help a little bit. There we go. So, we have a few changes made to the living area here. Miss Linda Barker, how are you doing? Thank you for coming in. Yes, I was in Gina Page's live stream earlier. Unfortunately, I was driving, so I could not respond like I wanted to. But there you go. And Mr. Xbox Clips, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. This is going to be, like I said, a little unusual and a little bit different. So we're going to try to, it's going to take a little bit longer than I normally do a live stream. So we're going to be probably 2 hours or a little bit more. So if you stick around, excellent. So just like the shirt says, sorry I'm late. I didn't want to come anyway. All right, so we have a few things that we've gotten from our typical Amazon shopping. Then we pick it up from the sister's house, whatnot. You've seen the pasta maker. You've seen the little salt, box there. And of course, you've seen the little woks I like. These little 8-inch woks. But we've also recently, I picked up 2 of these 3-bin hanging racks, and they come in a box of 3 of these. And I already have 1 or 2 of them mounted to the wall here. So this is just temporarily wedged in behind there. I need to put an actual metal strap from there all the way over to here to really hold it in. So this is just a temporary to see how it looks. So, you unfold it here, a couple of screws to hold it in place, then a couple of screws holding it into the wall here. So I got some cleaning stuff here, vacuum seal bags and vacuum containers up in here, kitchen towels, a little bit of cleaning, monk fruit, little small things that are always in the way. They're always having to be picked up and moved, and the bags open up and they spill and just causes a bit of a problem. So I got 3 of these bins, and I got 2 boxes of that. So I actually have 6 of these bins. Like I said, I only put 2 up. I'm going to get another one of these boards that my sister was kind enough to stop by the Home Depot or Lowe's and pick that up for me. That's 1 board. The other board, minus a few little pieces, I got on my second piece. But this board here, it's 3/4 inch by 2 foot by 4 foot. It sits up high enough that it's, I'm not going to be bumping it with my feet, and it's all going to be down near my feet. So when I sit up because this is where my head's up here, when I say this is the driver's side right here. So when I get up, when I change the bedding, it's going to be sitting up high enough that it's going to be out of the way. Now, I may have initially thought it was a little bit smaller than this, a little bit narrower. So, I may not actually use all 6 of them. I may only use 4 of these bins. Or I may try to put an extra board higher up. We'll see what we're going to do with that. Now, so like I said, this one here, this is the 3rd one out of that same box. So we're not going to waste our time at the moment, dealing with that. I'll just tuck that away somewhere. Full-time Dream. How you doing? Mr. Charles Brandt, welcome in. All right, now the second portion of this. If any of you have seen the live stream for cooking before, you know that I have to reach down to get to, the table. The table sat 9 inches lower. So with the wood and, a few tools that I do have, all battery powered, saws, drills, whatnot, and a small amount of brain power. I'm a truck driver, don't have much brain power. So in front, this is my refrigerator. This is my clothes cabinet here. Right here is the back of the driver's seat, right there. And the bed is right here, where you see my knees are. That's the edge of the bed. And I have a little bit of floor space right there. So what I have done, I have crudely, and I mean that literally and figuratively, crudely made a little rolling cart. So I got some caster wheels on the bottom. And I made I put a little cutout on the top so I can have access inside here for putting a lot of stuff into it. So I get a little bit of storage, and at the same time, I raise up my my table to just above the bed, the height of the mattress, which is going to make cooking a lot easier, immensely easier. And around the edge here, I have some corner molding that the feet of the camp table sit inside, so it wouldn't go flopping around. So that just sits right there. And the reason I wanted wheels on it, so when I need to access this cabinet, that slides real easily. I'm not dragging. I always put stuff underneath the table, but this way it rolls nice and easily. So I can get to my chest of drawers here, get to my medicine, and then it just rolls right back in there, just like that. So I said 2-fold thing: 1, easier movement, and 2, raising it up in height. Excuse me. So this is my camping table. Thin, lightweight. It just expands like that. And the top rails lock in. And all we do, we just attach the tabletop. Now, a simple little camping table, nothing spectacular. It's not meant to be super, strong. I'm not going to be, there's no way I could stand on this. So that just fits down. And I got this running long ways this way. Because that's just how it fits best. And the legs just fit down just inside those cleats. I don't know if you can see it there. Let's move that down there. So the legs just fit down right inside those cleats. And if I just push on the table, it'll move it all. And it remains fairly stable. Fairly stable. So, but like I said, it not only does. Oh, righty. Well, have a good one, sir. Good to see you. Just look at the replay. Mr. Backwoods P&W. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. We are just a little bit north of Indianapolis tonight. I-65. We're in Lebanon, Indiana. We are heading on our way up to northwest Minnesota again. So, but we're doing okay. So we can just roll this off, roll that away, and we have good old access inside here. So I can put a good amount of stuff in there that normally would be just in the way. So let me go around this way. So here I got some measuring cups for the pasta maker, some plastic bowls, and my Instant Pot non-stick liner, cooking vessel. So that can just go bing bang right in there. It's permanently out of the way. It's not getting on the floor. It's not sitting on the bed. It's just, a lot more convenient. So Reynolds wrap, just throw that in there. Dish soap, soy sauce. I can set these things in here and have, a little bit easier access. Like I said, my little salt container, bing bang boom, sits right in there. Some measuring cups, throw that right on in there. A couple of, plastic ladles and spatulas, whatnot, that just don't fit anywhere else. Throw them right on in there. My one few of the times that I ever bought paper towels, throw that in there too. And then of course, any of the canned food that I have, some refried beans, some tomato for our chili, some black beans in case I'm going to make some fajitas or burritos or whatnot. A little bit of oil, just throw it right on in there. And I have a little bit of room, so I got some pearl onions. They're dried, so they can just sit right in there. I got a jar of pasta sauce. A couple of bottles of Fiji water. And it just helps to organize things and makes things a little bit nicer in the truck. So it would not be too hard to build to this height or a little bit higher to give me a little bit more comfort. But I think for the moment we're going to go with this and see how it works. And if I feel it needs to be improved, we can easily do that. So now, unfortunately, my utensil box here is just a little bit too long and a little bit too high. If this was, half an inch shorter and maybe about 3/4 of an inch narrower, it would fit in there just a little bit easier. But, I'm getting some benefit from it no matter what. All right, now, one of the other things I picked up recently from Amazon, I picked up a new kitchen knife. All right, it's not a 100% true Japanese knife, but it's got a nice design to it. So, it's got a Japanese design to it. And it's what typically is called a vegetable knife, specified by the square shape. Octagonal handle, which is common to a Japanese knife, and nice and sharp. I wish it had a wooden sheath with it, but it doesn't, so it just resides in here. Stick that out the way. And from the company called Mikasa, Mikasa, M-I-K-S-A. K-A-S-A. Mikasa. Not Mikasa as in my house. Mikasa is basically a Japanese word. Okay, so, but for the longest time, I had a set of Williams-Sonoma pasta bowls. which had a particular pattern or design, and it was called Liguria. And unfortunately, every one of the ones that I had was broken or eventually lost somehow. So it was very, very similar in design to this. A nice olive leaf, olive branch pattern. And it had basically has the same kind of green around the outside. Almost identical in the exact shape. The other ones were a little bit more of a radius right here, so they were a little bit steeper right here. But I got 4 of these, and here's the name of it: Micasa Classico. And these are actually made in Portugal, but there you go. But I got 4 dinner plates. Now, unfortunately, this one is basically a full serving bowl. So you put the whole thing in there, then you dish it out when you get to the table. So here's the size comparison. Now, unfortunately, this one is the one that I have to be the most careful with, which will never ever be used. But I need a place to put it, so whatnot. I believe, Linda, this 4-piece set of pasta bowls and the serving bowl, I believe, was $58, I believe. But just go to micasa.com and you will see it there. Just look for the Classico, which is the name of this, which is a nice real ceramic pasta bowl. I don't like using plastic, and I have some plasticware, but I would prefer never to use plastic as much as possible. Oh, the knife itself. I got this off of Amazon. Typical. And I believe this was around $30. I'll actually look it up here on the old tablet. Modern technology. Let's see here. This basically it's basically a Japanese vegetable knife. Like I said, this is not a true made in Japan knife. Let's see, my orders, here we go. So the knife itself, let's see here, was $50. And it's a Nakiri, Nakiri knife, which is basically a vegetable knife. 7-inch Nakiri knife, 7-layer, 9CR, 18 MOV, clad steel with octagonal handle, Kyoto knife. Cut vegetables, cut meat, fish, fruits. Primarily, it's designed for vegetables, but easy to get on Amazon. And this particular one is sold by FamCute, FamCute, 7-inch knife. Now, and of course, there's thousands of other varieties of them, but that's the one I got. So we're just going to set that right there. All right, so on to dinner. So we are going to be using our Instant Pot. And, I just got the stainless steel liner in here. So we don't need to worry about being non-stick with this particular dish. All right. So you can see how easy this is. Just I wish it wasn't so dark. I need more light in here, don't I? All right. Turn that on. Turn those on as well, hopefully. All right, so this just pops over. Brown-eyed trucker, how you doing? So we're going to get a couple of things out here. We're going to get a bowl, a couple of bowls here. We are going to get our salt out and set that right over there. We're going to use some black pepper. We're going to use some Italian seasoning. And then everything else is coming out of the refrigerator. So we got a bit of garlic. Now this is already minced. Normally I would prefer to mince my own, but there you go. We got 3 carrots. We're going to use those up. We got a potato. This is a typical russet potato, the size comparison to my hand. There we go. Now that's just an average size russet potato. Actually, I might drink this. I don't get these that often, but they're okay. I mean, if you're on a diet, they can help. Oh, one of the other things I got through Amazon was a hard shell egg container, so I always have eggs and they're not going to break. Well, hopefully. We're going to throw that in there. We're going to use a bit of demi-glace or bouillon. Ralph Floto, how you doing? So we're going to put some of that in there for flavor and for color. We got a bit of butter. We'll use that. And I do have the same stuff for chicken. Great for a soup. Great for making a curry. Great for, just a base with chicken. Any kind of sauce you make for a chicken, put a little bit of that in there as well. Got a bit of onion. We'll throw that in there. Okay. And of course, everything is frozen together. It's easy. Put that down there. Yeah. You got to fight to get things in and out of here. So I got some frozen chicken. We'll put that in there for dinner later. Yeah. Or it can escape. There you go. Dropping ice all over the place. That's the problem with these small, tiny refrigerators. They suck. They ice up so easily. So we're going to take that. Got a cup up here, so we're just going to throw that in the cup. There we go. So we're going to put that back up there. We're going to put some mixed vegetables in there. But those are going to wait till practically the end because they're already cut up little tiny pieces. So we'll add those at the very, very end. All right. Throw that in there. Let's see here. There we go. What I need to really do is defrost the refrigerator, but I'm going to wait till I get most everything out of it. So we got to eat that. We got to eat the contents of the refrigerator down before we take a moment to do that. All right, so there we go. So like I said, we're going to dice up a little bit of onion. Going to cube up the potato, peel and dice, the large carrot. Even though there's carrot in here as well, I want some big chunks of carrot, so we'll put that in there. All right. Now, unfortunately, I did not divide this 2.5 pound, or almost 2.5 pounds of chuck roast. But we're going to be doing this from frozen. So this is, like I said, it's going to take a little bit longer. It may not come out the exact way I want it to, but it's still going to come out good. It's still going to be edible. It's still going to taste the same. Just won't look exactly the same. So first thing we're going to do is start the pressure cooker and get this going. So we grab our Instant Pot. Got our cord there. Now these are like I said, really big pieces. So we're just gonna kind of get that out. Not too bad. So you see, it just doesn't even fit in there for the moment. Get this. And now, get ourselves a plastic bag here for our trash. We need to go do another Walmart run to get some more plastic bags. And I just put my plastic bags into this cloth bag. Just keeps them protected so they don't rip and tear. So when I do need them, they're ready to go. All right, so we just use this as our trash bag. Stick that in there. We're gonna kind of move this around here a little bit. See if we can't get that force down in there. Well, we may need to cut a little bit off the side there. That's okay. All part of the fun. So we got. Here's another reason for why I'm raising this up here. Raise it up. It makes it easy. So I don't have to have this sitting on my legs like I normally have. So I can have it up here where it's a little bit more useful. So this side is a little bit thaw. So we're going to use this knife here. Let me get a towel here for my wet hands. Try that off there. And we have enough room up here. We can do some things with it. All right. And plus, since it's not going to be on my legs like it used to be, it's now as well safer. There we go. So not too bad cutting that. That's a little bit harder, but we're going to. There we go. So actually, we can actually cube some of this up, so this shouldn't be too bad. But this is a nice, fatty piece of chuck roast, which I am more than happy to use. So we're gonna. I said if this was on my legs, I would not be trying to cut this frozen meat. But you can see the amount of fat that's in this chuck roast. Just the way I like it. So we're just going to cut. Whoop, it's escaping on me. Yes, the floor is clean. Just vacuumed it, but we're going to wipe this off. Don't worry. 5-second rule. There we go. Throw that in there. You might be able to not use the entire thing. So here's just a big old chunk of fat right on there. I live by a ketogenic paleo diet. I try to make sure my food is a lot healthier. So we're just going to throw all that in there. And I think we can actually bag up the rest of this. So this might actually work a little bit better than I thought it would. We're just going to take one little piece on here. There we go. We're going to put that into a zipper lock bag here. So, there we go. So nice old zipper lock. We've got the zipper lock here and the vacuum port here. So we'll actually throw this piece of meat into the refrigerator. We'll let that thaw, and I'm going to use that for a different meal. So I was just going to do the whole thing, but we'll change it on the fly. So set that down there like that. Try to get as much air out of there to begin with. So I got 2 vacuum sealer pumps. I got the old one, which is pretty big. The new one I just picked up. Like I said, a lot smaller. So we just set that right on the circle. Just hold the button on the top down. Controls freezer burn. Works pretty dang good. And And of course, the more air you suck out at the beginning and let this finish off, the better. Plus, it'll keep this meat from browning up because we get all that oxygen out of there. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a little bit more stable, even though it's sitting up higher, but because the legs are kind of confined in there, it does pretty good. Let's stick that back out the way. It would be a little bit better if these legs were a little bit thicker. I mean, like I said, it's not meant for strength. It's meant for convenience. Lightweight. All right, so your little bits in there. There we go. So like I said, we're not going to be taking the time to brown the meat. Set that right there. So it's not going to come out as visually pleasing, because we take the time to brown the meat and get that nice deep crust on it and really take our times. I'd be cooking this for 6 hours, you know, which I particularly don't want to do. So we got our meat in there, which we are going to start before we add any vegetables, because we want everything to kind of have a similar texture. Helps speak the English language correctly. All right, so I got my little extension cord, which I need, unfortunately, because we are not in a regular kitchen. This is not a regular countertop, so you gotta make some compromises. So get this plugged in. If we can work it, there we go. So that's going. We're going to take a little bit of water. I've got some water here. So we got a little bit of leftover water in here. And that almost, that just about almost covers it. Not quite, which is just fine. We're not too upset about that. I forgot I had a Powerade out here. All right, so we're going to take our spices and seasonings here. So a bit of black pepper. Now, of course, all this is to taste. But like I said, some people like it more this, more that. So rarely do I ever follow an instruction when it comes to that. I know how much I want, and I just go with it. Some Italian seasoning for a little bit of that herbiness. I need to pick up some bay leaves, but oh, who has the time? Then, of course, let me get a spoon out here. So you're going to take a little bit of salt, about a teaspoon maybe. All right, and roughly a teaspoon of garlic. Like I said, it's already been minced, so we ain't gonna worry too much about that. Salty Dog, how you doing? Welcome in. Rattle Trap, how you doing? Well, I mean, sometimes, there are times where I want more pepper in it. Sometimes I want a little bit less pepper. So, I never worry about it because, A, I don't have to worry about anybody else eating it at the moment. So, why cry? And hey, I'm going to take a little bit of tomato paste, put that in there as well. Give us a little bit of sweetness. Another layer of flavor. We're going to put about a tablespoon of that in there. Not a lot, just to give that little extra oomph. Now the demi-glace or the bouillon would be a bit better if I put it in a little bit of hot water and melted it and stirred it in a little bit, but it'll be fine. So we got that to the seal position. We're going to put this on to meat and stew. Now this says 25 minutes. We ain't going to go 25 minutes on it. We're going to do about let's do 13 minutes. Lucky 13. Well, that's part of it, you know. Life is hard enough as it is without making it any harder. And there's very few things in life that you have to do. So why not, when the things that you need to do just to stay alive, and eating is one of them, why not do it so that you actually enjoy every part of it? Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not fun washing the dishes afterwards, but I always prefer to have a home cooked meal. Even though I'm the one cooking it and I'm the only one eating it. So if anybody wants to come in, here's the link. Like I said, we're going to do a little bit of cooking here. So keep that off to the side there. A little bit of butter. We're going to use this a little bit later, so we're just going to throw that back in the fridge for the time being. There we go. So we got a potato. We got a little bit of regular onion. This is about a quarter of an onion. So we're gonna throw that in the trash. Like I said, this is basically how much. This is 12 ounces of mixed vegetables. Normally, this would be 4 individual servings. Normally. But because we're doing the stew, we're gonna use about half of this. Oh, 99% of all my meals are cooked in the truck. Pasta, pancakes. Which, yes, I'm thinking of tomorrow dinner doing a pancake, sausage and egg dinner. Well, I'm thinking of that. I mean, I have sausage, I have bacon, I have pancakes, I have eggs, butter, syrup. So that's what I'm thinking of for tomorrow. I'm trying to get these vegetables all moved out from the center here, so I don't spill them as much. And of course, I spill them. We're going to slide those in there. Yep. I said, not perfect. This is more like the Swedish chef than it is Gordon Ramsay. So we got our bowl here. We'll throw our mixed vegetables right in there. Let those thaw out a little bit. Dana, no, I am not in Minnesota yet. I am still in Indiana. I am in Lebanon, Indiana. I am on my way to Michigan, or Minnesota, sorry. But I stopped at around 3:30 p.m. today. I had about 3.5 hours left of drive time. I could have made it up to Chicago, but in no way do I want to stop anywhere near Chicago. No. Call me crazy. I just don't. It's not on the top 10 list of places I like to go. If I do stay near Chicago, I try to get over towards South Bend, Indiana. I try to get to maybe South Beloit, over to Minooka. Joliet is about the closest I really want to get to. I don't like staying on Grant Street. I don't like staying at Lake Station. I don't like staying on Burr Street. You know, I just try to keep out of Chicago as much as possible. You know, all right, let me, oh, there we go. So I got some more, I got some of the quart size bags here as well. So we're gonna throw those other mixed vegetables in there. And of course, like I said, you just try to get as much of the air out first. Just makes this little pump work a little bit better. And like I said, because I have such limited amount of room in the refrigerator, I got to do this thing. So we're going to throw this back in the, I'm not going to put it back in the freezer. I'm just going to throw that right in there because I'll probably eat that in the next couple of days. Let's see here. Well, sometimes a breakfast stuff for dinner, sometimes just, pardon me, it's just one of those comfort things. You know, it's like, I always think back to my grandfather's Sunday breakfast. Fried potatoes, eggs, bacon, sausage, pork chops, biscuits, sausage gravy, homemade jams and jellies and preserves, peach, grape, apple butter, strawberry jam, eggs any way you wanted them, pancakes, and sometimes waffle if they brought the waffle maker out. You know, toast, bagels, butter. You know, you never went through the rest of Sunday hungry. Anybody who came to the house, they were getting fed, they were getting stuffed, they were basically going to roll out the door instead of walking. All right, so I'm going to take our nice knife here. We're just going to dice up. If we keep it on the table here. So like I said, I still got to get used to it. You know, it's still a small area to do this with. But so things are going to fall on the floor, but I'll worry about that later. So we're not too worried about being so precise. Some of these are going to break down, so I'm just going to throw that right on top of the vegetables there. Okay. So we got our mixed vegetables, carrot, corn, peas, green beans. I wish there were some lima beans in there, but I'm going to have to say this, Salty Dog. I'm going to have to hate you now. You have 2 refrigerators, and the only thing you have in there is peanut butter and jelly and some sandwich meat. And here I am trying to do a full gourmet dinner, and I got this little college refrigerator that sucks. Well, you know, it's all good. I mean, it works, you know. Like I said, I have to make a lot of compromises, you know, in my cooking that I never had to do in a house, ever. One, I can't stand up and cook. I have no counter space. I can't have all the tools that I want because my the amount of electricity I have is so limited. Oh my goodness, where were you in Boise? Were you on the east side of Boise? Were you over towards Nampa? Because I believe last time I was out there just a about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I believe I saw a sign for prime rib out there in Nampa, if I remember correctly. So like I said, our little vacuum bags go right up here in the little container. Like I said, already enjoying that. Like I said, 2 bins, making it so much easier to have some extra storage. This shelf I built a while ago, printer, I got my ramen bowls down in here, plates down in there, and I got stuff underneath behind that I don't access that much. My new pasta bowls here, my utensil drawer is right there. Little salt catch with some vitamins, pasta maker and some storage stuff there, and storage containers up here. Oatmeal, chocolate, hot chocolate powder, rice, flour, farfalle pasta, cream of wheat, oatmeal, sugar. All the good stuff. So now we're going to do our, we got a couple of, nice big carrots, because I'm not a huge, get that unstuck here. I'm not really big on cooked carrots, but it's one of those things that it's better to have it because it's good for you. But when carrots are absolutely 100% fresh or fresher, I like them. I don't like it when they're turned into mush. I don't like any vegetable. There's only one vegetable I like really, really soft, and that's lima beans, cooked in a very specific way. But all the vegetables, I want some crunch. I want the vitality in them, because that's part of it. It's not just how it tastes or what its health benefits are. It's also the mouthfeel and the sound and the smell, everything. Okay. Okay, there we go. Well, see, when I was in my last company, I was at Melton Truck Lines. I had a 2019 T680 Kenworth. Had the inverter. The truck had no shutdown because they used to have APUs, but they got rid of them because they were costing too much money. So they just let the truck run, which I didn't particularly like, but I could cook with it. I had the double bunk in the Kenworth, and if you go back in the vlog to season 1, I believe it's episode 76. I believe it is called Top Shelf Shelving. You'll see what I did with having a secondary bunk. What I did for extra storage. So go back and look at that. I believe it's 76 in the first season. Yes, Dana, I got well, if I could, I would take that seat out. I really would. Yes, I got this Canon. I think it's like a 3400 printer. Because I do heavy haul, because I always have to get permits, and I always have to have, detailed printouts of some of the stuff that I do, some of the materials or some of the equipment I haul. I have to have a printer in the truck. That's just part of it, because if I had to go to a truck stop or rely on the customer, the shipper or receiver to have a printer, I'd have to be paying for every copy, every fax, every email. That just takes time. It's inconvenient. It's a pain in the neck. So when I get a message like this from my company, which just came through the other day, they're giving us a bonus for being here during the virus. So we're getting basically an extra week's pay, or an extra 2 weeks pay for being on the job. Which I'm grateful for. Don't really want it because I didn't earn it. It's like, you're giving me money for doing nothing. Well, I'm already a salary employee. I do nothing half the time anyway. So, but the company owner wanted to do that, so the company owner sent that out. This next payday, not 2 days from now is Monday. The Monday after this next one, we're getting an extra $1,500 in our paycheck. Which, like I said, I'm appreciative, but I would have rather have earned it personally. But there you go. And I did send a message onto my boss's voicemail, telling him to say thank you for it. It's not necessary. I'd rather the company be viable and me being employed for a lot longer than getting this little bonus money and 4 or 5 months down the road, not having a job. That's just my mode of thinking. So peeling the carrots, you can see what it looks like there. Then once it's peeled, looks a lot better. Little simple tool in the truck makes the meals so much better. Now I could do this with the edge of a knife to scrape it, but that's a little bit messier. And if I had a kitchen and plenty of room to do that, I would. So there we go. Put that down in there, out the way. Make sure it's not sitting on the cord there. We're just gonna set that there for cleaning later. All right, so you see how much nicer this is, and then try to lean down here or trying to do this in my lap. I barely have enough room to do anything to begin with, and when you make it harder than it needs to be, well, that's when the old brain starts, the little hamster starts running on his wheel in your brain, and you start building this stuff down here, building a little cart. Sister Lynn, over 50 and fantabulous. How you doing? Welcome in. God bless. Making a little bit of beef stew. All right, so we're just gonna chunk this carrot up here a little bit. I said we're not, because we are just one person and we have a limited amount of space, and we have to be mindful that this meal I'm going to make is going to give me three servings minimum of this beef stew. So I have to be conscious of how much I use. Now, like I said, I'm trying to eat down what's in the refrigerator so I can empty it out, defrost it. That way it's usable and functions properly. So, like I said, nice old russet potato. Grab my little bag here again, set that so it doesn't fall. Like I said, we've had the potato in there for a couple days, so it's getting a few eyes on it. And the eyes do have a toxin, so it's preferable that you do not eat them. And the toxin is not just a fluke of nature. It's designed to protect the potato in its formative stages from getting eaten by wild animals. Vicunas and llamas and various canine and other animals in Central America where the potato originated. So we got that. Okay, we got that somewhat done. So, like I said, a nice sharp, and remember, a sharp knife is safer than a dull knife. Keep your knives sharp. Hold your knife correctly. Do not put your thumb way out there. Do not put your finger way out there. The handle is there for a reason. Curl your hand around. Keep your thumb on either. If you're going to cool it around, your thumb around, make sure you have a full grip. If you're going to put it on top, Make sure it's a full, nice and tight there. Now you want to be loose with it for really good control, but you want to make sure you know where your thumbs are, where all your fingers are. And the same thing with this hand here. When you make sure you keep them fingers, curled under like that. So when the fingers are pointed away from the blade. So we're just going to slice that down there. Nice, decent potato. You can see where you can see that line right there. That's the first initial root of the potato. That dark line there is the first initial root of potato. So potato grew in the ground like that. Then once it established itself, then the tuber, which is this part here, all came up from that. I've not heard too many bad things about the new internationals. So I really can't say otherwise. I mean, as long as it delivers, a satisfactory work towards you, then you're good to go. So because we have this, we could have just chunked it up, but I'm gonna do a little bit flat. I'm doing a little experiment here. Normally I would make it nice and chunky, nice and almost square for the cuts, but I'm gonna cut these a little bit thinner. I want to see how they do that way. So instead of cutting them kind of like the carrot, nice and square, we cut them nice big flat pieces. I want to see how it does with that. So we got that going. Now because the potato will oxidize and give a bad color and affect the taste, we're going to temporarily throw that into a bag here just to protect it a little bit, because we still have a little bit of time before the beef is done. This pump here is a little bit stronger, and it definitely has a bigger battery than the new one I got. But I saw this one, I said, hey, I'll pick that one up too. All right, so sucked all the air out of that. You can see how that plastic is compressed down there, so get that air out of there. Stick that to the side. Here we go. And now we can take do a little cleanup here. So because of the way people shopped the past couple of months, they bought out all the supplies of everything that people need. And so my sister picked up a little 3-pack of these for me. Mint and little disinfectant wipes. So you find the one that's open here already. Here we go. So we can wipe off our cutting board. We can wipe off our spoon and our knife and all that. We got a towel here to dry them off with. So quick little cleanup. That there. And of course, with the knife, be a little bit more careful. Now, the one thing about this particular knife, it's got indentations all in the black area here. That you can see it a little bit with the way the knife is ground. But there's indentations all in here. That helps to release it when you're cutting thick vegetables. So the vegetable won't stick to the blade as much. So you got to just go a little bit better with the cleaning in order to do that. And watch the edge, of course. Turn this around here. Wipe the cutting board down, because we don't need the cutting board anymore. Unless I want to add some bacon, but I really normally I can do that. So we'll just let that air dry right there. There we go. And this goes in my little trash bag here. Bing, bang, boom. Now, like I said before, this knife did not come with a plastic or even a wooden sheath. So, right back into the box it came with. You know, sort of similar shape to it. So, but I wish it had a wooden sheath. I may have to make one for that, but that's going to take a little time. I don't really want to do that. So, spoon is clean. We can stick that away. Vegetable peeler is good, so we can stick that away. And our spices we put up. Put that up. Put our salt down here. We'll get that in a little bit. And already I've noticed how nice it is. Alrighty, over Snoqualmie. Done that way too many times. Just be safe. Hopefully it's not raining there right now. Just have fun going up and down. Snoqualmie's not a bad thing. I got a pretty nice picture of it there. And then if you want to see what the past Dana is talking about, go to my channel and the first introductory video, that's Snoqualmie Pass that I'm going up and down. Hey, Mr. Nathaniel Lee, how you doing, sir? I'm just glad you came in, even for a second. I appreciate it. So we're making a bit of beef stew. Waiting for the Instant Pot to finish the meat and the spices. Get that going. Then we're going to add in our carrots and our potato. And speaking of the devil, that's done. All right, So that's done the 13 minutes after it came up to pressure. That steam is very, very hot. Be careful. Don't lean over it with your face in there. I am going to get one of those little diverter valves, stick on there so it'll just shoot straight out to the side, which will be a little bit safer. So this can go, I have to figure out a place for this. Now you just can't just stick it anywhere. It's got to be someplace that's not going to fall down, you know, whatnot, but I'll have to figure out a place for that. I just don't have the room. If I had a second bunk in here, that would be perfect. I could do everything I really need to. A lot easier. That's probably what I mean more of it. I can do everything a lot easier. Some things I still wouldn't be able to do, but there you go. But the company that I work at, Valley Transportation System or Services, these are almost all single-person trucks. There's no team driving with these. If there is any trucks that have a double bunk, they're usually the owner-operator trucks. So, but, you know, there we go. Let's see here. That's nothing. Good, good, good. So, you know, another fun day. We had a short day today. Loaded a Komatsu excavator yesterday afternoon. All right, pressure's off. Button went down so we can actually open that up. So here's where having regular towels benefits. So we're going to take our lid off. It's hot. So we're just going to set that right there. And that meat looks pretty okay for 13 minutes. Let me get a fork out here and a plate. There we go. Now this is not perfect, but let's just grab a piece right there. So it's still a little bit tough. So that's the piece of beef. Lots of fat in there. Didn't cook up too bad. Like I said, if I had been able to brown it, it would be a little bit better. But, I can cut it with a fork, just about. But this is high pressure for about 13 minutes. From frozen. Not too bad of a tool. Oh my goodness. So we're going to stir that up a little bit. Get all those herbs and the pepper and everything mixed up. Now I'll put that back in there. So everything is already cooked through. A little bit of candy. So like I said, we are going to throw our potato and our carrot in there. Careful, we're not going to splash ourselves. Since this really wasn't in contact with food, we'll use that one again. We'll just wipe it out. So we're going to stir this up. Now, the beef is going to continue to soften and cook. We're going to get the carrots cooked through. We're going to get the potato cooked through. Put that on, seal it. Put the lock here for the vent. Put that to seal. We're going to put this on meat and stew again. We're going to hit cancel here. Meat and stew for another 13 minutes. But, like I said, that should be more than enough. So the beef is going to be in for 26 minutes. The carrots and potatoes for 13 minutes. Then this is only going to take maybe 5 minutes at the most to really put that in, and have it mix up well. So we're going to stick that right back there. We don't need to put that on the floor out the way. So like I said, we just got to add this a little bit. And we will, at the very end, when we put the onion, carrot, celery, or the carrot, green bean, peas, and a little bit of corn in there, it's going to, they're all going to kind of, cook pretty quick because that's pretty small. So, like I said, we're going to add a little bit of salt. Either I can use regular salt, or I could use Kikkoman soy sauce. This has a very high salt content, but it also brings other flavor, especially for beef. It really does wonders. If you add a little bit of this in there, it really will change how your food tastes. Miss Renee, Healthy Living by Renee, how you doing, ma'am? Thanks for coming on in. And Miss Barker, yeah, you're right. I do like using the saute mode, but that's typically when I have nothing better to do. Because I really do prefer using a pan for saute, because I have a lot better control over the temperature. The saute mode on here, it's one temperature for everything. So, I prefer using a pan for that. It gives me a little bit better control. But saute mode on the Instant Pot is fantastic. Like I said, if you're just browning meat, go for it. But if I'm doing vegetables, doing a mirepoix or sofrito, I want those vegetables to either be caramelized or just softened or just clarified. I need to have more control over the temperature. So most of the time, I'm going to use a pan, preferably. But for right at the moment, we're going to do that. Right, so we got a couple of dishes to wash. Right. So this is my normal procedure for washing dishes. I can go get me a free shower here at the truck stop and take my dishes in with me and wash my dishes in there. But I like using the disinfecting wipes. It's just a lot faster, a lot easier food isn't stuck on because I clean it right away. So, you know, it's not, and the cost is, it's a little bit higher for the cost, of course, but the convenience is what I'm paying for. So there we go. We got those washed. Let me just wipe them out. So this is more of a natural, natural chemical, type of wipe. So it does. You need a little more elbow grease for it, but other than that, works just fine. So there we go. So dishes are pretty much all clean. Now, for those of you who have seen it before, let me pull this out here. Come on. So I have some small bowls. I got these little $1 bowls from IKEA. Very, very fragile. I would never buy these again. I only have 2. I bought 10. I only have 2 left. They just break so easily. $1, not really worth it. I'll never do that again. They're okay bowls. They're nice. I got them primarily for the size. They're okay, but in a truck, not so great. I got these bowls here, which are basically almost twice the capacity. Maybe 3/4 more capacity overall. I got these little plastic ones from Walmart at 50 cents a piece. They don't stain. They're good in the microwave. They're good. They're dishwasher safe. These are actually really good bowls. I'm surprised. 50 cents. I thought to myself, they can't be that great. They are that great. Now, my ramen bowls. I got 2 of these these are imported from Japan. These are made in Japan. These are actual real ramen bowls. Real ceramic. And you can see the dragon design on there. Then outside you got the dragon there. A cloud. Another dragon there. So I could use this one for dinner tonight. Or like I showed you earlier, I could use one of my new pasta bowls. Which I'm gonna use this new pasta bowl for dinner tonight. I think that'll be nice to look at that. Miss Renee, I am in Lebanon, Indiana, right down I-70, right down I-65. I am at exit 139, just a little bit northwest of Indianapolis. So get this put up like that. There we go. Oop, need to put those other bowls away. And here's the thing about being in a truck, because it's always moving, because it's always vibrating and rattling. I use a washcloth. These are just little polyester pieces of garbage, which they're not really good for doing anything except providing a little bit of vibration control. So I got another one here, because going down the road and listening to that all day long and then having them break, not exactly what I want. So I just stick them in like that. And the same thing with my new pasta bowls, and the same exact thing with my my pots and my pans. All right, so it finally came up to temperature and pressure. Now 13 minutes are going to count. And like I said, I do the same thing with all my pots and pans. In between every pot and pan, there's a towel to keep the surface from being damaged and to keep it from rattling. So this goes right back in with the other ones right there. Bing, bang, boom. So like I said, this little cart here gives me storage. 2, lets me move it a lot easier and more stable. And 3, it gives me better access to my clothes cabinet. Because that's annoying. When I need to get in there and get another new t-shirt, and I got to drag this stuff and things are falling over, I got tired of that. So I built this little cart here. This little table, raised it up about 9 inches, makes it a little bit easier to cook. Just many, many benefits to doing that. So we don't need that fork anymore. Put that right back in the old drawer there. So we should not need the trash bag for a bit. So we're just going to throw that up front there. So I don't know if any of you have ever tried the Celsius energy drink. It's all right. I mean, in small doses. That's creative. But Linda, if you go on to Amazon and just type in 3-quart Instant Pot accessories, you'll find a lot, I think, what you're looking for. Because not only do I have the stainless steel one that came with the Instant Pot, because it's the 3-quart size, perfect for a truck for one person. I have a non-stick cooking vessel, which is really good when you have something that's sticky like rice, or you're making something with a really thick bubbly sauce that might have a little bit of sugar in it, like a barbecue sauce. The non-stick is excellent for that. But I also have a steamer basket that fits inside, which I plan on doing a meatloaf in that steamer basket, which will make it come out a little bit better. That way you can do cakes. They have those springform pans for cakes and making frittatas, making quiche. You can do almost anything in this. A little springform pan. I'm going to make a lasagna in that. It works really, really well. This is one of those. This is probably my single most valuable cooking tool I have. Number one. I love my ramen bowls. I love my new pasta bowls. I love my knives and all the other cooking accessories I got. Hell, having the pasta maker on the truck. Being able to make fresh spaghetti from scratch. Here's my flour. I love making ravioli from scratch. Making spaghetti, fettuccine. I brought me another container of ricotta cheese. I'm gonna make some more cheese-filled ravioli soon. And when you have the mozzarella, the Parmesan, the ricotta cheese, a couple of eggs, and you can stick that into very 100% 3-second old pasta, and then throw it in a pot of boiling water. That makes dinner so much more enjoyable. Bar none. Bar none. Now I still have a lot of stuff in here that is still not in quite the best place possible. It's always a learning thing, because all my electronic garbage up here, there's not enough room in the truck. If I was allowed to, I'd rip all these cabinets out here and over on this side, and I would build it with plywood exactly the way I want it. But company truck, I have to do things that are non-invasive. I can't drill holes. I can't glue things just anywhere I want. I can't cut things out. It'd be nice if I could, because I'd be able to make this precisely the way I want it, and it would work a whole lot better. So like up in this area here, with all my electronics and, stuff, just cluttered up, camera gear and stuff like that, I'm going to be building a little shelf, a little 2-tier shelf here that all that stuff can slide into and sit just a little bit better. But other than that, there's not much that I can do about it for the moment. All right, so see it. So we are going to, because we are getting ready for dinner here, I'm going to get all my vitamins and minerals together. So I'll run through what I take for vitamins, minerals, supplements, blah, 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 blah. All right. So it may seem like a lot, but it all fits in this little shot glass. So it really isn't a lot in total, but there is a lot of individual, tablets and caplets and whatnot. So let's start off. This is 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. We'll take one of those. I take 2 tablets of hyaluronic acid, which helps with your joints, helps with your skin. It helps with the hair, fingernails, primarily with joints first. Anything that's a cartilage or a skin type tissue, this helps with. So I take 2 caplets of that. I take this is not the container it came in, but I take white kidney bean extract, which helps to control the absorption of carbohydrates and sugars. Well, salty dog, I already knew that. We all know that your wife cooks better. So I take 2 tablets of white kidney bean for dinner, and usually one at the beginning of the day when I have any kind of carbohydrates. I'll take that. Like I said, helps control absorption of carbohydrates to help control weight a little bit. So that's got 5 minutes to go. Now I have here. I'm gonna make sure I find. I have some ones that are older and some that are newer because I changed my requirements for Persona Nutrition, which is they pre-package vitamins and minerals for you. So in the past, I did an AM and a PM packet. And they come in, each day is individually packaged. So 1 per day for the month. But then I switched over to 1 pack per day, period. So I am going through these a little bit, and some of them I've taken out, so I'm not going to eat I'm not going to ingest all of them. So let me read this. So in this packet here, this is the old AM packet. From Persona Nutrition. You order them online, sonanutrition.com. You could tailor this to your own need, or you could take their little survey, and they could tailor a program they recommend for you. Age, weight, medical conditions, whatnot, general health, how you feel generally, and they can tailor it to your need. So I have 2 tablets of spirulina. This is a plant that has a real high nutritional content and everything else. I got Benefit, I got appetite suppressant formula, a multivitamin, and a DHA. I'm going to take DHA in the spirulina. These other ones I'm getting rid of. I'm not going to eat them, and I just don't have any place to put them because I'm never going to take them because those ones I don't want anymore, and I'm just finishing up that. Right. So here is the PM from the same time. So I got an omega-3, and I got a turmeric. There is a, let's see on here, a good night formula, some tryptophan, and a multivitamin. But I got my multivitamin elsewhere. Like I said, these are the old ones, so I'm not minding getting rid of that. So here is the new packets, the more recent package, which I go with. So this one has an appetite suppressant formula, branched chain amino acids, blood sugar balance, CoQ10, digestive enzymes, fermented ginseng, and hair, skin, and nails formula. Which hair, skin, and nails is kind of weird because it has these little pieces in there that are, loose. So we're going to take that. We're going to take our CoQ10, which is good for your brain. And the rest of them we're going to just put up. We're going to get rid of those because we're not going to use those at the moment. I have certain needs right now, and there can be interactions with medicines and your diet, and also between individual supplements. There can be interference, and so they negate each other. So some of them I have to take out. So I'm going to put some. I got some stinging nettle. This is really good for a man for testosterone boosting. So we're going to take 2 of those. And move this off to the side here a little bit. There we go. So this is full of bottles as well. So here's the white kidney bean. Like I said, I'm using it out of the other container at the moment. Curcumin helps control inflammation. I feel so much better since I've been taking this particular formula. I have turmeric in here, but this one, these are absorbed really, really well into your body. And I'm taking 3 caplets currently. Right, kidney, stinging nettle. Go. Yep. Make sure I got everything out. And then to add to my ketogenic diet, first of all, by controlling carbohydrates, i.e. sugar, I don't drink alcohol, so that's another fuel source your body can burn. I also take keto BHT. This helps to stimulate fat burning and using fats in your body for your energy source. So I'll take this typically during the day, not at night, because that can makes me a little bit, hyper. All right, so open that up. Pardon me. And now we're going to add our mixed vegetables and our onions. Before we do that, we're going to take a little bit of taste of the soup. So we're going to see if we're going to add any salt or the soy sauce, whichever I feel it needs to go. And then while we're eating, we'll take our vitamins and minerals and supplements. This is sort of an energy drink, which I was going to drink that, but I'm going to put this away. But, a simple little can of that during the daytime especially is really good. But I just have a Powerade Zero with lots of ice in my Yeti cup. Still a little too much pressure in there. It will not turn off. I really wish I had a toaster oven, convection oven, instead of the microwave, because I really want some biscuits. Unfortunately, I've looked around. I cannot find a decent microwavable biscuit. Or two, I can't find them at all. Yeah, you know, all the biscuits out there, even the Pillsbury Grands or the little Jimmy Dean things, they're absolute garbage. I would like to make some fresh biscuits, or find some that I say are acceptable. Put them in there, let them puff up, let them get hot, smear with a ton of butter, and away you go. That's almost ready to come off, so I'm going to put a towel here again so we don't burn anything. Because the towel is cotton. It can take the heat. The bedding right here is a man-made fiber, so it just melts. There we go. And let's take that off here. Oh, it smells good already. So we'll set that right there. Right. So the soup is a little bit thin, but to be expected. We only added enough water to cover the meat. That's a little too much fat in that one. I got to stir this up a little bit. There we go. Just a little too much fat in there to actually taste anything. Woo. All right, we are going to add a little bit of the soy sauce. Like I said, this will bring some salt, a good deal of salt, but there's other complex flavors in there. What everybody knows now called umami, that savory, rich, beefy flavor. This will add a lot of that with just a little dash of this. Add a touch of that. Give that a quick stir. We're gonna take a small piece of meat out here. Throw in our onions and our mixed vegetables. Kind of break that up in there. There we go. And I need to add a little touch of water. Not enough liquid in there. So, bottle of Fiji. I always keep a couple of bottles of Fiji water. Fiji water is the only bottled water like this, just for plain drinking, that I have ever found that tastes good warm. Dasani, Aquafina, all the rest of them, they taste like absolute garbage when they get hot. So we're going to seal that back up. Hit our cancel button. Hit our meat and stew button. We're going to turn that down to 8 minutes. And we're going to let that do its thing. All right. A little bit of raw onion. So here's our piece of meat. Like I said, not really browned, as if we took that time to do that, but super soft. You don't need to chew it. Just melts in your mouth, So that's going to heat up again. It's going to pressurize again, and it's going to cook. Once it hits the proper temperature and pressure, then it's going to cook for 8 minutes, and we will be done. Oh man, yeah. I got some. I could make some Mexican garlic bread. Take your tortillas here, cover them with butter, a little bit of salt, your Italian seasoning, and a little bit of garlic. Fry that in a pan till it's a little bit crispy. Flip it over, soak up the rest of it, take it out, cut it into a couple pieces, like a pizza. Quick and simple. Which we're just gonna use a couple pieces as a little bit of bread. So we got 2 pieces here. I'm gonna throw that right there for the moment. I'm gonna clean out my my other bowl here, so I can put that away. I mean, like I said, bar none. I would not. I mean, I got a panini grill. I don't use as often as I could. I have a hot plate. I use a lot more often. I have the microwave, which I barely ever use. The pasta maker, stick blender. This gets used much more than anything else. Pardon me. And I would not want to be in a truck, OTR, over the road, long haul, like I am, without it. I just don't want to do that ever again. My first 2 months of being a truck driver back in 2017 were horrible. I hated it. Not because I was learning, I just didn't know what I was doing, but because I didn't have a kitchen with me. Yeah, I bought the microwave and a pot and a spatula and whatnot, and the heat in the hot plate as soon as I possibly could. But until I got to a point where I could do that, it was eat out. The first time I ever ate Whataburger down in Bruton, Alabama. It's okay. It'll keep you alive. You won't enjoy it. I mean, at least I didn't. It's like, whatever. Go get the little microwave bowls of soup or lasagna or whatnot, little microwave meals. It did for a little bit, but until I could, actually cook, I did not feel good. George Foreman grill, it's basically just a fancy name for a panini grill. Same thing, I'm thinking about replacing the one I have with a one that's a little bit more multifunction. So it'll open flat. I could have like a pancake griddle, that kind of stuff. But unless I get a truck that I can custom make the interior that's a little bit longer in the sleeper, because hand touching there, that's the full depth. It's about 7.5 feet that way, 6 feet 5 inches top to bottom, and I have maybe a 4 foot by 2 foot section of floor space. So like I said, that's I have to make do with what I have, and I have more in the truck than most guys ever had. I don't know if any other truck driver has a pasta maker in their truck. Unless you're an Italian in Italy, I seriously doubt you have a pasta maker. Well, Salty Dog, I normally would agree with you. But here's my thinking with that. I want quality. I want what I want. I work too hard not to have what I want. I don't ask a lot from life in general, but food is one of those things. You have to have food. You have to have water. Of all the things in life to spend money on, I would gladly spend the majority of my paycheck on food, on water that I like. All right, so along with that, so like I said, I got these nice pasta bowls. I'm not going to eat off of paper. Paper plates, paper bowls, paper towels. No. I have real kitchen towels, real bowls, real knives and forks. I'm not going to make myself uncomfortable by eating like I'm on a permanent picnic. You know, I can afford to have real cutlery and dining ware. So I'm going to do it. The same thing comes with my food. I'm going to buy the best quality food that I can do. I'm going to have the best quality made meals that I can possibly do. I'm not by any stretch of imagination a great chef. I know enough on how to do certain things, certain techniques that I've learned over the years that make the meal a better thing. So when it comes to, when it comes to a bottled water, yes, I do go to Walmart and buy the 80-cent 1-gallon bottle of water. That's most of the time when I'm cooking, I'm doing that because I'm boiling it. So it doesn't impart a lot of flavor. But when I want a good tasting water, this is the best that I've found for me. Fiji water. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's better than Aquafina. It's better than Voss. It's better than Dasani. It's better than almost every other bottled water out there. This is the one I like. And like I said, when it's cold, it's amazing. But when it gets warm and you're outside busting your butt out in the 100-degree temperatures, and you actually accidentally left this in the sun a little bit, and it's warm, it still tastes good. And that's the thing. If I'm drinking a bottle of Aquafina, it gets warm, it's disgusting. Oh, pardon me. There you go. My little water kettle. You thought you stumped me on that one, did you, Salty Dog? That one, yeah, and a toaster. I wish I had the room for a toaster. Oh my goodness. Being able to have some nice toast with some bacon and eggs. I'm sorry, that's one of those carbohydrates that I just love. But I have, I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea. My hot beverage is hot chocolate. Especially during the wintertime. You get 2 or 3 cups out of this. Just leave it in there, get some humidity in the air. Especially during the wintertime. This works great. I do have one, but it's always in the way. It just does not have the best of shape, but you do what you can, right? So Salty Dog, Trucker Josh. You've seen him on YouTube. He has almost 100,000 followers. He has the room in his truck for a coffee machine. But he's always buying his coffee outside, which I don't understand. Nope, I don't have a 12-volt one. I put this right on my hot plate. Works perfectly fine. My inverter is about 1,800 watts. Does just fine. And, most of the... yeah, I mean, I'm looking on Amazon. I'm looking in the Walmart. I'm looking in Target. I'm looking in... I got to go to a Bed Bath & Beyond here soon to find a unit that I like that comports with my my inverter. So it's powerful enough to do it at once. Doesn't have a lot of electronics on it, and it has the features that I want. In the size that I want. Because I bought an Emerald Lagasse Air Fryer 360. And you'll see it on the vlog here. a couple of episodes ago. I stopped in Trinidad, Colorado, right before the New Mexico border on I-25 going south. I was going to Fort Stockton, Texas. And it had too many electronics on it, and I think I may have gotten a lemon, but it blew up on me. So I want to get one that has a lot less electronics on it. I would like one with French door opening style instead of just a tilt down style. But the only one I've seen out there, it would exceed the capacity of my inverter. So I can't really do that one. So, but I'm looking for one because I would rather have that than a microwave. Because anything I need to heat up in a microwave, I can pretty much heat up in a pan, whatnot. So, but that's just nitpicky stuff. Yes, I don't get toast like I want, but at the same time, do I need toast? No. Do I want toast? Hell yes. But I have to compromise a little bit. If I own this truck, all these cabs would be ripped out, and I'd be going to town, designing it the way I want it. I would have an actual place to be able to stand up and cook. But since I can't have that, I deal with it as I can. So let me grab my got a little ladle here for the for that. Like I said, I'm just gonna have a couple of flour tortillas as a kind of a bread. Yeah, but how many s'mores and can you eat? How many hot dogs on a stick can you eat, Salty Dog? I mean, come on. I enjoy a hot dog. I enjoy just a plain cheese sandwich. I enjoy just a burger now and again, of course. There are times where I just go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, get a 4-piece meal, and walk out. Go to Long John Silver's, order some Chinese takeout because I just don't want to cook. But that is 1% of what I eat. Like I said, I prefer, even with the cleaning up and the lack of space and the aggravation, that it can be sometimes, Yeah, it can be a pain sometimes, which is why I know a lot of guys will not do it. But, when I started truck driving, it's for a purpose of rebuilding everything I had lost, saving the money for the piece of land that I want, so that when I get to that point where I don't have to live in the truck, because that's the sacrifice I'm making, then I will worry about how I'm going to eat on the road after that. I won't be bringing as much stuff. I'll bring a week's or 2 weeks worth of clothes. I'll bring, just a few bare essentials and then go. Bacon and tomato sandwiches. And thank you for spelling sandwich right. There's no D in sandwich. I put a post up on Facebook the other day. I got some Chick-fil-A the other day when I was still down in Georgia. What was that, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. Wednesday night I got there. I went up to St. Angelo's, got a 2-ton Tony pizza. Excellent. Love their pizza. From St. Angelo's, Emerson, Georgia. Lake Point Station, right across the street, basically from the Loves. But I went up, Wednesday night I went up, got there, parked the truck, went and got me a pizza. Thursday morning I got up, walked over to the Chick-fil-A, which is one of the reasons why I like that particular Loves a lot. It's close to my sister's house. They have a McDonald's. There's a Arby's across the street, Taco Bell, Wendy's, a frozen yogurt place, the Pizza Sports Grill, which has pretty good food. Then they have the Chick-fil-A, and there's also like some little knockoff pseudo-Chinese, pseudo-Asian place there too, which I'm not even going to bother trying. Well, it's a good place to park. It's got good amenities around it, so I like it. But, like I said, Thursday morning I got up, walked up there. I got me some Chick-fil-A chicken minis, little chicken bites inside the little mini biscuit rolls or whatever they want to call them, with the honey butter smeared on them. Excellent. A little small box of the hash browns and a chicken sandwich. And I wrote on the Facebook post, sandwich, because that's the way it is. There's a difference between a sandwich and a sandwich. A sandwich is something you eat. A sandwich is something you want to eat. Subway makes a sandwich. But in the truck, I'll make a sandwich. When I make a Dagwood sandwich that's, yay thick, and I have trouble unhinging my jaw to eat it, in bacon and pastrami and 2 types of cheese and lettuce and onion and mustard and a pickle on the side and a bag of salty chips, that's a sandwich. When you have to two-hand it and you have to crush it to get it into your mouth, that's a sandwich. A burger from McDonald's or Burger King, that's just a sandwich. Well, the only thing I want with that, it's a, pardon me, it's either a W900, that's 100 inches, because what I want my bed back from front to back along the driver's side wall. And then on the passenger side, I want full countertop all the way front to back so I have room to stand up and cook. And then everything else would, comport with that. All the clothes and stuff on this side, all the cooking stuff on this side. 2 refrigerators and a freezer. A little sink that I can do a little bit of washing in. Real cabinets to put stuff in. I mean, that's all open up here. Behind here, it's all open. Only this cabinet and this one right here actually have doors. And I had to build this shelf here. Then, as I showed earlier, I had to build this shelf here to get a little bit more space. Then, I'm building this up here. So I got these hanging racks. Got 2 of those. I'm going to put another one here and put 2 more of these. And I think I'll leave it at that. But if I could build this myself and design it, the way I want, I'd be happy. Linda, yes, I do. I want a nice Airstream. All right, let's take that open. I want a nice 30-foot Flying Cloud Airstream. I love the look of them. I would thoroughly enjoy that. Either that or that, a 60-foot sailboat. I would love that. I really, I would love to drive all through Canada and the United States, just driving around, enjoying everything, or sailing the seas on a boat. I would love that. Because unfortunately, as a truck driver, I don't get to see as much. I get to pass by a lot of places, but I don't get to see a lot. All right. So as soon as that releases its pressure, we will be eating. Like I said, I got my vitamins and minerals right there, my supplements. I got still a bit of ice in here, so we're good. Alrighty. Come on, Instapot, do your magic. All right, let's see here. Let's see. All right. And I don't know about anybody else out there, but I am sick and tired of the news this past entire year. It's been some of the crappiest news I've ever had. So do you add a touch of water to your scrambled eggs? Because that'll make a big difference. Add a little bit of water, blend it up real well. That'll make them a little bit lighter and fluffier if you're going to cook them in the oven. Oh, still got to drop. There was a place in Baltimore where I'm originally from, Liberty Road on the west side of town, just outside the Baltimore Beltway, I-69. Now, of course, it went away a long time ago, but when I was an arborist, a tree cutter, we would stop at this little place that did fresh Jewish bagels. Boiled them, cooked them. They had like 40 flavors, but they would take their egg mixture, because we would all get an egg sandwich. So a nice fresh egg bagel, toasted, buttered. On that, a nice thick egg, about yay thick, almost 2 inches, 3 inches thick, with cheese. You can get ham. This is the side that didn't have. They weren't Jewish. They just had the good recipe. So ham, sausage, bacon, whatever you wanted on it, you could get. Most of us got 2 of those. So a bagel about yay big around, about, I'd say almost that thick, that you had to squish it down. But man, that was good. I love that thing. And like I said, they cook the egg in the microwave like that as well. Oh yeah. You have not had Chick-fil-A? Man, what kind of deprived life are you living? Best damn chicken sandwich you can get. All right. Let's stir this up a little bit. All right. See if we can't get a little bit of everything in this bowl here. There we go. There you go. Now we're talking. I'm going to set that on the bread. There we go. A little bit of onion trying to escape. You want to set that on the bread so that'll soak into the bread there. So here we go. I'm going to spread this out a little bit so you can see. There we go. Move that over there. So a nice, tilt that down a little bit. So a nice bowl of beef stew. The beef from frozen. Carrot, potato, 1 russet potato, 3 medium-sized carrots, about 1.25 pounds maybe. little bit under 1.25 pounds of chuck roast with lots of fat, carrot, green beans, peas, corn, mixed vegetable, some demi-glace beef bouillon, a little bit of soy sauce for a little bit extra meaty flavor, pepper, a little bit of tomato paste, a little bit of Italian seasoning, water, about 35 minutes total in the Instant Pot in a couple stages. Ridge Runner, how you doing? Mr. Ross Romes. Sorry you missed that. Thank you all for coming. So we're going to be a little less traditional. Like I said, I would prefer to have a nice buttermilk biscuit with this. But since we got some flour tortillas, use a little bit of flour tortilla for a little bit of bread. Help to clean up the plate when we're done as well. Not too bad. Like I said, normally I would cut the potato in more of a square shape. We just kind of sliced it nice and thick, about 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, I think I might do that from now on. Just soaks up a little bit more of the flavor. Like I said, a little bit more liquid would be preferable, but lots of fat carrying the flavor. And like I said, you can season it however you want. And that's the problem. Too many of us fellow truck drivers are dirty, filthy, smelly people. And they treat these places as their trash can, as their urinal. And I should probably say that while I'm eating, but they just have no respect. I saw a let me pull it up here on the iPad here. I was on Facebook yesterday, just flicking around. I believe I saved this quote here. Yes, I did. Here we go. So I don't know if everybody knows there was a band, a rock band called Danzig. Now, Danzig, the original Danzig word is a city in Poland. Right? This gentleman's name is Glenn Danzig. He had a band which he named after himself called Danzig. It was a rock band. But here's what he says, and this really applies to truck drivers, and I've made sort of a similar comment, but I think he puts it very, very well. All right. Okay, the shopping cart, now I'm quoting him here. The shopping cart is the ultimate litmus test of whether a person is capable of self-governing. To return the shopping cart is an easy, convenient task, and one which we all recognize as the correct, appropriate thing to do. To return the shopping cart is objectively right. There are no situations other than dire emergencies in which a person is not able to return their cart. Therefore, the shopping cart presents itself as the apex example of whether a person will do what is right without being forced to. No one will punish you for not returning the shopping cart. You gain nothing by returning the shopping cart. You must return the shopping cart out of the goodness of your own heart. You must return the shopping cart because it is the right thing to do, because it is correct. A person who is unable to do this is no better than an animal. An absolute savage can only be made to do what is right by threatening them with the law and the force that stands behind it. The shopping cart is what determines whether a person is a good or a bad member of society. Unquote. Glenn Danzig. And I had made a video talking about that well over a year ago in season 1 of the vlog. You know, not as eloquent as Mr. Danzig did, but it goes to the same principle of truck stops, of rest areas, of Walmart and, you know, Canadian Tire, you know, there in Canada. If you are throwing your garbage onto the ground instead of walking yourself over to the trash can that they provide for you at no charge, you're a crappy truck driver. You're a crappy person. If you're taking your, you know, I'm going to try to be as pleasant as I can for the non-truck drivers and the ladies in the audience. Truck driving is not easy for convenience. You don't always have the ability to get to a restroom. Every male truck driver knows the value of these. I have seen too many truck drivers take these after they filled them from their own bodily fluids and just throw them on the ground. Or and I've seen this, take the cap off and dump it right on the ground in the parking lot. And that goes to what Mr. Danzig was talking about. If you're not a decent human being, you're going to do stupid stuff like that. And us truck drivers, like Salty Dog said, we see dirty, smelly rest areas at truck stops. Because too many of us do stuff like that. They intentionally treat that piece of property like it's a toilet. It's not. If you can take the time to open it up and dump it out on the ground, you can take time to go over to the woods and dump it in the woods. At least be useful over there. Or take it into the bathroom. You're going in there anyway at some point in time. Take it with you. Dump it in the toilet. Then throw the bottle away. You know, courtesy. That's all we need. You know, and I just wish more truck drivers in particular, because I'm around them people all the time, and more people, period, would have that basic level of courtesy and civility and decency and honor for themselves and their families. All right, so here we got a nice piece of carrot. Push that knife, the spoon right through that carrot. There we go. So a nice meal from frozen with the beef. The mixed vegetables were frozen. Everything else was room temperature. Instant Pot. Best tool you could ever have in a truck. So this is the longest live stream I've ever done. I try to keep it under 2 hours for everybody's convenience. And plus, I start getting a little bit hoarse from yammering all the time. So we have a nice dinner. We have several bowls of this to eat. Like I said, I got some tortillas here for a little bit of bread. Going to take my vitamins. And then after we get done with that, we will clean up. I'm getting started bright and early in the morning. Before the sun comes up, I have about 165 miles, roughly, up to Chicago, I think. I'm going to get through Chicago, up I-94, up to Milwaukee, then over to, over westward through the Wisconsin Dells. I'm going to try to skirt a little bit more northward around Minneapolis, just to stay out of that entire area, because we all know what's going on with that. But I'm heading up to Ada, Minnesota, approximately about an hour south of the Canadian border. I meant probably just a little bit more. So I will be there Monday to make my delivery. From there, I don't know where I'm going. I'm probably going to head back over to North Dakota, to Neche, North Dakota, to pick up some plastic, water storage tanks, 5,000-gallon tanks, 3,000-gallon tank. That's probably where I'll go. Maybe. The only other place I might come back down to Waterloo, Iowa. But that's a pretty long stretch. I might, like I said, that's a possibility. But we will see what we got. Thank you, Miss Barker. I do appreciate that. Miss Sister Lynn, over 50 and Fantabulous. Thank you very much. Yeah. Just taking the time to be courteous is all I want from other drivers. Live your life. I'll live mine. I'll keep my bad attitude and opinions away from you, and I'll just try to treat you with a bit of civility and courtesy. We all can get along without that, if we just all did that. So I just want to say, Miss Linda Barker, Salty Dog KW, over 50 and Fantabulous. Ridge Runner, thank you for coming in. Ross Rones from the beautiful United Kingdom, thank you very much. Let's see who else here. TJ Bull the Woods, thank you very much for coming in. Nathaniel Lee, Backwoods PNW. Let's see who else. Miss Renee from Health and Living by Renee, thank you very much. Dana from Wanderlust Crochet, hope she got over top of Snoqualmie without a problem. Shouldn't be a problem today. I think it was pretty clear today. It's been about almost 2 weeks since I went over Snoqualmie for the umpteenth time. All right, Rattle Trap Fishing, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Full Time Dream, nice RVing channel. Came in. Ralph Floto, Brown Eyed Trucker, a couple of fellow truck drivers. Mr. Charles Brandt, thank you very much for coming in. And let's see here. Well, you say, I don't know much. I know a little. You got Tim Hortons. You got Canadian Tire. And you live in provinces. You got weird animals on your money. I know a little bit, a tiny bit. I think I got a Canadian quarter in some change, a couple months ago. Like I said, unfortunately, I will never be able to go to Canada with this company. Our trucks are not governed at the appropriate speed, and I think they're almost too long for the tractor. So, but it would be nice. It would definitely be nice to get up to Lake Louise or Banff or the Coquihalla. Go see the Maritimes or anything like that. But I do thank you, each and every one of you, for coming in. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow, I believe I'm going to be doing a pancake dinner, a little bit of breakfast for dinner. So eggs, pancakes, sausage, bacon. Maybe, if I'm feeling daring, maybe a hash brown as well. But we'll do a little bit of dinner, a little bit of breakfast for dinner tomorrow. It's not going to be all from scratch. The pancake mix is already made, but we won't tell anybody. But we got my most favorite woman in the world. Every man's dream woman. And don't let them tell you otherwise. And Salty Dog, you know this to be true. Mrs. Butterworth is the most special woman in the world. I couldn't go without Mrs. Butterworth in my life. The hell with my ex. I love Mrs. Butterworth more. Sarah Lee, Marie Callender. Those are some beautiful women. Aunt Jemima and Mrs. Butterworth will have a little three-way. All right. So I just want to say thank you all for coming and watching me ramble on and making a little bit of beef stew from Frozen. I'm going to finish eating my dinner and then go to sleep. I'm going to be up around 3 a.m. in the morning so I can get through Chicago, toot sweet, before any kind of traffic, because everything's picking back open, coming back open again. So I want to get through there as fast as possible. So hopefully we can be in Wisconsin before the sun rises. We will see. So thank you very much. And as always, God bless. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.